Oh God, I blew into the mic. Anyways, hey everyone. Um, Hope you're doing well. I'm glad I was able to come back and record another video. Um, let's see. I'll be honest. I did record like a 5 minute video before this one, and I was using Spotify music, but I don't have premium, so you just hear an ad in the middle of it, and I was like, that just won't do. So that's embarrassing. Um, so I got premium just to record this because I like the little music in the background. I think it's kind of nice. Let me know if it's too loud or maybe I should turn it down actually. Put it down like right there. No. Just let me know what you think. If the audio's all good, if you can hear me well. Hopefully there's less breathing into the mic. Um, I just want it to be as chill as a vibe as ever. But yeah, so I recorded a 5 minute thing because I was like, I wanted to see if I could go into this with a more organized, you know, asking questions, answering them, such and such. Then I'm like, I'm good. It's too much work. Okay, not really. It just didn't sound natural. It sounded weird. So I just came up with the idea for this episode, talk about growth, I guess. You know, things I've gone through, what led me up to here, where I felt my starting point was for a lot of things. I think that's a pretty good thing to talk about. I could definitely come up with a lot. But let's see. Personally, I think that right now, the type of person that I am is. It sounds weird because I'm talking about myself. I'm proud of who I became or who I have become up to now. Like, I feel that I have a good grasp on a lot of things. Not completely in the dark or unknowing to what's going on in myself or with people around me, um, which is great because I don't like not knowing. It's kind of like not knowing yourself just makes things a lot more difficult and complicated. Um, but yeah, I've definitely in the past years, I guess it's very vague because I mean, I've been alive for 19 years, almost 20, and a lot of stuff has happened. So let me start from the beginning. I think a good starting point is high school, freshman year. I always like to tell these stories just because to me it's pretty like cool to just know where you started from and you know how you've changed over the years. So I'll start with freshman year. Whew. Freshman year me, oh my. I was, you know, nothing too big to look at. I mean, I was tall, scrawny, still kind of am, with a little bit of more of that Kane's workout. um, I was really shy, very awkward, had like little to no confidence. Just kind of like a very good base for, starting off and learning stuff. Um, I don't really know how to go about how to go about explaining everything. Um, I mean, that was me when I started off. That was freshman year. I think a lot of stuff. I guess I can talk about what really all the changes, events that occurred, things that happened that allowed me to become who I am right now. So let's see, freshman year. I think the biggest things, well, obviously, there's one, the people around me. They influence me. They kind of like teach me stuff. I learn from them. They learn from me, such and such like that. Um, I think I had a pretty good friend group. There was like, I did my best to, be friends with everybody. I'm not the type of person to be like, I hate this person specifically, and I'm gonna hold a grudge on that. And no, no, no. I don't don't roll that way, you know? I think it's a waste of time to hold grudges like that. Um, I say that, but there's another story that I'll tell later on that shows that I obviously didn't believe it fully, that you shouldn't hold grudges. Um, but I just didn't like making enemies with people or anything like that. Um, kind of like giving people the benefit of the doubt in situations. Um, what I do know is I was kind of like a yes man. Like I, it was hard for me to say no to things. I remember that very specifically. There was one person who would constantly ask me for things during lunch, food items, money at times, and I just couldn't say no, because I wanted this person to, I wanted to be friends with this person, I didn't want to, you know, I felt rude being like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or no, this, you don't get anything. When in reality, that's just kind of like I'm being taken advantage of course. But I wasn't really aware, or at least I didn't want to believe that was what it was. And, you know, one of my friends would just be like, bro, you're being taken advantage of. You gotta say no. Like, you can't just keep giving this person what they want. And it's not like they were doing anything bad to me or like bullying me or in any way and being like, if you don't give me this, this will happen to you. It wasn't anything like that. It was just simple as I just didn't, I just felt weird saying no, because I just felt like there's nothing wrong with me giving this person this. I mean, I have enough to share, I guess. Like I was okay with it, but after a little while, I just felt maybe I am being taken advantage of. I don't know. Maybe this is just a weird thing. And my friend was like, "Yeah, that's kind of weird. You shouldn't just be constantly giving them whatever they want when they ask for it." And I'm like, "All right, all right." And so I finally, the next time they asked me, "Hey, can you buy me this or can I borrow money?" I was like, no, I'm sorry, but no." And at first they were like confused. They're like, "Wait, why though? Come on!" And trying to make me uh, give them what they're asking for. And then they threw a fit. Whatever. It was just their personality throwing a fit. And I was like, "Listen, I can't. I'm sorry." And then they left. And then that was it. Easy as that. Took me long enough to realize I'm allowed to say no, especially in that situation. Like as much as I want to be nice and like you know make friends with people, it doesn't have to be through buying them stuff and such like that. So it was like an interesting experience for sure. And that was at the beginning of freshman year. I'm glad I learned from it quick before I gave so much away. um, and again, I mean, I don't mind giving stuff to friends and stuff like that. Um, I just wasn't fully understanding like what that meant. Like there's different situations where that's okay, but after a while it kind of does seem like you might be get taken advantage of, and I learned that. So, not again. um but yeah, so that was like one of the first experiences of my growth. Further on, um in high school you get a lot of crushes, such and such. And there's people you're like, "Oh, that's someone who I think I like." And from what I understand, what people have told me, and from what I remember, I had a lot of crushes. Like a lot. Um, I don't know, that stuff. It was always so entertaining because I'm just like I don't know how to explain it because I also don't want to say something weird and then it should be like, what's this guy talking about? Um, well, anyways, I had a lot of crushes. I remember this one time there's this girl that I liked, and this person was texting me from another person's account asking me, "Hey, do you like this person?" And I'm thinking in my head, "Oh God, you see, I do have a crush." Here, I'll put like fake names to it just so it's easier to follow. All right, so the person I had a crush on, her name was Aria. That's a good name. I like that name. Aria. That's the person I had a crush on. The person who was texting me was Jennifer. All right. Aria was texting me from Jennifer's phone, and I, you know, I didn't know that was what was happening, but I guess what I thought was that Jennifer was messaging me, and Jennifer was asking if I like anyone, and I'm fairly certain that I'm getting this story wrong, but I just don't remember it fully. Um, Pretty much, I'm pretty sure Jennifer liked me, and she was trying to figure stuff out, but I liked Arya, so it was kind of hard to say anything. I mean, I thought both those people were, you know, um, what's it called? They were both my style. I mean, but I still just had a crush on Arya, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to do anything against that and lose my chances or anything like that, because they're both friends. Later on, I realized it was that one person messaging me, Arya, and I kind of just lost my chance at someone. It's a very complicated story. I just realized it doesn't make any sense. Pretty much, I liked both of them, but I decided to choose one, so I lost my opportunity at the other. And then later on, I confessed to the one other person, and then that didn't work. Anyways, whole shebang. I'm not gonna explain it. Also, because it's embarrassing, and it probably just doesn't make sense the way I'm explaining it, just because I don't want to reveal too much. Not that it matters. But yeah, I had a lot of crushes in school. It was fun, just because being in a relationship with somebody or just making the first moves on stuff is always such a great learning experience. Just because if it doesn't work out, well, then you know for next time what works and what doesn't. If it does work out, well, then it's great. You get to learn stuff later on. Um, I remember I would look at every single situation as a milestone. I remember exactly. Um, I was marking down every single situation. So the first time I marked down something was when I asked a girl out over like a text, right? I kept that in mind. I'm like, okay, I remember this person. After it all happened, I'm like, all right, now the next thing I have to do is ask out a girl over the phone. That's the next milestone. And so, you know, months and months pass, and I asked out a girl through the phone. And then, I don't think it worked out for that one. It worked out for the text. I definitely started dating somebody, but for the phone call, I got rejected, and I'm like, damn, sucks. Um, and then more months pass. I'm pretty sure this all happened freshman year, and I asked the girl out over like a FaceTime call, and that was like the closest thing to almost doing it in person, because it's like you can see their face. At least that's what I was thinking. And so for that one, again, I got rejected, but good learning experience. Um, Although during that, you know, during all those different ones, like I was shaking. Like when I was texting somebody, that feeling that you got where it's just like your heart's like rapid beating and you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I don't know what they're gonna say. I could ruin this entire friendship. I could be screwed. I shouldn't even go into school tomorrow. I was feeling all those emotions while I was texting this one person. And then that feeling when they text you back, like a response that you're looking for, oh, it's so great. I'm just like, oh my God, all my trauma, it was worth it. All those emotions weren't for nothing. Um, and then it's a great feeling. Now go on to the phone call, and my voice is shaking. I'm like, hey, 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 hello, hi. I wanted to ask you, um, so like, anyways, and it's just like the most awkward thing ever, and you could only imagine what they're thinking. Like, is this guy okay? Like, oh God, are they about to ask me a question that I don't want to answer? And oh my God, it was so entertaining. Well, to think back on. In the moment, I'm like dying. I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm having so much trouble. I'm such a like a little kid talking to a girl. Oh my God. And so I remember my voice was super shaky, and when I finally got the question out, I finally took a breath, or question, I'm like, yo, I like you. do you like me? And then I'm like, took a deep breath. I'm like, okay, I let it out. Cool. I'm thinking in my head, all right, just gotta wait for a response. And then all you can hear is like nervous laughter and be like, I don't, uh, can't right now. Sorry. Just, all right, that's fine. Maybe next time. And then, yeah, it just didn't work out. Then you move on to the FaceTime call. This one, they can see you. All right, it's different now. This is a whole new step. Your awkwardness is shown times two, not just through your voice, but through your face, and they can see it all. Now I remember this one was great because I was in like a call, a group call with some friends, and I called this person, like the girl that I liked, and I forgot to mute myself in the group call. And so the entire experience was broadcasted to my friends, which I did not intend for. I was hoping for like a private talking to this girl that I like on my own, but no. Everything that I experienced, all the awkwardness, everything like that was broadcasted to my friends, and it was horrible. I was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" All my embarrassing moments just live streamed, and it just made the entire moment much worse, especially when I got rejected. I remember telling them, "Hey, I like you. That's how it is." And this person that I liked, I have been talking to for like most of freshman year, FaceTiming every single day. And they were just like a good friend. Like it was one of my first like good friends that I was able to call every day, talk to about whatever, and it was nice. It was like a good friendship, and then I just started liking them, and that's when things kind of like, ooh, you know how that goes. And so I called her, and I'm like, hey, just want to talk to you. Just want to let you know that I like you, and I want to know how you feel. And it's always the worst when they don't just give a straight answer. But then again, we're freshmen, and we're kids, don't really know what's going on. But just the only thing I hear is nervous laughter, like, oh, really? Well, in the end, they did not feel the same way. And then it kind of just hung up. And after we hung up, I just kind of like, I wasn't like sad or anything. I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? I've made the worst mistake. I've ruined the friendship. I mean, I guess you could maybe think, oh, he's overreacting. It's just, you just told them you liked them. Maybe you can just chill after that. But after you tell someone you like them, no matter what age, it's kind of like now they know, and now the relationship is different. Um, Maybe later on it could be different, and you can be friends again. But it's kind of like in the moment, it's kind of like you can't really ignore that anymore. Um, and after that, although we would FaceTime every single day, it stopped. We no longer would call. It was back to just saying hi here and there at school, and I stopped. I no longer called her. I don't remember if it was because I didn't call her or she didn't call me, but it just all contact through that stopped after I confessed, and I regretted it. And I was like, why did I do this? I had such a good thing going, good friends. Why do I need to make things more? I don't know. And so, yeah, that was the FaceTime call, and I was like, ooh, that was a big step. And like I said, I don't know why I did this. I don't know. I just really liked whenever I improved on something. And so after every single milestone of asking out a girl, uh, I just, you know, remembered it and made sure to learn from it, from text to phone to FaceTime. Now the next one I don't really remember. That's why I didn't immediately tell the story. I know I did have a moment where I asked someone out in person. I just don't exactly remember how it went. I think I know who it was, just don't know what I really did. I mean, I'm sure you can assume how it went, considering I was super awkward and didn't really know what I was doing. Everything I ever tried was like, new first time, and I was kind of just experimenting, seeing what would happen, and then, going from there. Every single time, I would be nervous, voice shaky, and I would be out of breath because I was like, oh God, what do I say? What do I do? I can't mess this up. Um, and I can tell you that the one time that I asked someone out in person, it did work out. So although I messed up on phone and FaceTime, it did work out on a call. Perfect. Um, but yeah, I mean, thinking back on them, it's really fun to like reminisce on, because like damn, I really have come a long way. And that was mainly like freshman sophomore year. Like the that all happened pretty close together. I want to kind of talk about my first date because that was fun. Really awkward but fun. Now, where I live, the main thing that like I knew what to do and where to go for hangouts and stuff like that was the movies. That was the biggest thing. I remember I had this group of friends, um, I think three other people besides myself, and we would always go to the movies. Like that was the only thing we knew where to go, just the movies. And I decided to ask this one girl that I asked out to come with me to the movies. And now, like thinking about that, or at least I think I realized this back in high school, but still, the movies is not a good first date. Like, if you really do like them, it's not the move because you're sitting there not really talking. I mean, if you do talk during the movie, it's kind of rude to everybody else. It's kind of just like awkward. But the movies is not a good first date. I'm telling you, it's you're just not talking to them. You know, you're focused on the movie, and there's just not a lot of time to really do much. And then what? I mean, if you don't plan anything after the movies, you just are waiting for a ride and then they leave. At least that's how it was, you know, um, when I was doing it. I didn't really have plans afterwards. I honestly didn't think to make plans afterwards. And then again, if I did try to make plans, I mean, I'm still a kid. I didn't have that much freedom to be like, yeah, let's go do stuff afterwards. It's late. You know, I gotta go home. My mother's like, hey, yo, where you at? You gotta go. And so you only have limited time to do things. You know, stuff like that. And I remember on that first date, was it the first date? It might have been the first date, second or third, but this is where, you know, another milestone occurred. My first kiss. Crazy. I was like, oh, I made the decision that day to be like, all right, it'll happen today. I planned it out every single moment in my head. We're gonna go here to the movies, all right? But before that, we'll eat, go to the movies, enjoy a nice viewing, whatever it was, I don't remember. And then right before we leave, right there, I'll make my move. And you know, as I learned over the years, with every single plan I've ever made, never turns out how I want it to because I just don't have like that confidence yet. I haven't created that person for myself. I'm still super shy, I'm still super nervous, and I'm still very awkward. So, you know, everything else kind of worked out. I mean, ate food, went to the movies, and now the kiss was coming up. After we left the movies, she called her ride. I called mine, so I only had a very small window to make a move if I wanted to. Now, I remember we walked out of the movies, we walked over to these chairs, like all the way to the, it's like near Grand from where I live. For the people who live where I live, you know what Grand is. And there was just these little tables. We sat down, we're just talking, you know, not really making too much eye contact, not really like focused on each other, we're just talking. And it's just really awkward because I'm over here like freaking out. My heart's racing. I'm like, what's the next move? Do you want to kiss her or not? Are you gonna make it? What's gonna happen? And I'm over here like thinking in my head. This is what I'm telling myself in my head. I'm like, all right, don't think, just do. Stop thinking. You're thinking right now. Stop doing that and just do what you want to do. If it goes well, perfect. If it doesn't, don't think about that. It's not what you want to do because then you're not gonna end up wanting to do anything. You're gonna regret, you know, not making any moves, and then it's gonna suck. Now, her ride gets here. I spent so much time freaking out that I didn't do anything. I'm just like, what? Why am I like this? Why am I so shy? Why am I so nervous? Like what's the this is so dumb. Just do something. And she's sitting there, about to leave, and I'm just like, oh, before you go, I just want to like talk a little more. And she's like, okay, yeah. And so we're talking a little bit more. I'm trying to stall for time. Her ride's like here. Um, her ride doesn't see us. They're just parked up front. We're like on the side. They can't really see us. And so I'm like, if I'm gonna do it now, I have to do it now. I look at her and I'm like, hey, without being at all smooth and just completely blunt because I just can't do anything smooth. I'm like, hey, can I kiss you? And I said that, my voice cracked, and I was like, oh my god, I am the worst. What am I doing? This is horrible. To my surprise, she says yes. And I'm like, perfect. We're sitting down, all right? Try to envision this. We're sitting down. This isn't a good position, all right? And this is my first time. I don't know how this works. I've like maybe seen a movie or two, but this is like, I'm new. I'm new to this. I'm just like, all right. She wants the quick kiss. How do I go about doing this? We're sitting, looking straight on. How do I explain this? Like we're sitting on if imagine we're sitting on a bench looking forward right next to each other. So the positioning is really awkward. But I didn't think to stand up or anything like that. So I tried to go in for the kiss by moving myself over and around and then kissing her. And that was the most horrible thing ever. It was so awkward. I just, I missed a little bit. The kiss was just, oh my god. And yeah, I mean, it definitely could have gone better. Um, it also could have gone worse. And so it was just not good. And hey, let me just tell you something. After that, this is something that I'm kind of proud of. Although in my entire moment of being super shy, for a second, for 1 second, I took control and I'm like, hey, that was bad. Can I do a better one? And she's like, yeah. And I did. We stood up, you know, did a proper kiss, and that was that. And I'm like, yo, although that was extremely awkward, I kind of saved it in the end. Who knows? I take that as a victory. She seemed happy. We were chilling. I walked her to her car, kind of, because I didn't really, I was still nervous. I haven't really talked to her parents or whatever. And I kind of just like, she left, and then I walked away to my car. But damn, that entire moment, oh, that was a lot. I, you know, I wasn't unsure about how to like, or I wasn't sure about how to like, go about texting afterwards, talking afterwards. So I just sent sent out a simple text after I got home saying, "Hey, hope you had fun. I really did have fun. Let's do this again sometime." And that was that. Great night. Honestly, I took it as a victory in the end because it's like I did a bunch of stuff that I have never done before, and although it kind of like in the middle was really awkward, like really really awkward, it ended off not bad. You know, I took it as a win. I was like, all right, good on you, little Hector. You did it, bro. Good job. First kiss, am I right? And that was freshman year. So, wipe one thing off my bucket list, get a first kiss. And that was that first person. That was my first girlfriend as well. And let me tell you, I mentioned this, being in a relationship for me was like extremely um educational in the way of I learned a lot. And anything that I ever learned from a relationship, I brought onto the next one. That sounds weird. Not like any like bad things where it's just like, oh, I talk about a relationship a lot during the relationship with another person. More like if I was, shy at one point, I learned from it. I was no longer shy with that specific thing, or at least not as bad. Um, Doing a first kiss wasn't as difficult. I had a better understanding of what it takes and what you should do. Um, I mean, I wasn't all on my own. Definitely, like, whenever there was some small things like texting somebody, I had friends to ask advice for, even though they had never done anything. So I was kind of like taking advice from someone who wasn't familiar, but, had ideas. So it's just kind of like, you know, I had myself to learn while in the relationship and friends to help me out. So it was chill. But yeah, my first relationship with that person that had my first kiss with. I would say it wasn't my best relationship. It was my first one. I mean, what do you expect? And I think I learned a lot from that one. Um, I I don't know. It just that relationship was a great learning experience. I don't regret anything because I try not to. Why regret things you can't change? But I definitely learned from it. I don't want to go too much in detail just because I still know this person, and it's not like it's been such a long time. It's been like maybe 6 years, 5 years. I don't know how long since freshman year, but in case they do listen to it, I don't want to share too much information, just because that would be rude. But yeah, I mean that first relationship, I learned a lot. Um, I learned a lot about you know what I deserve in a relationship, what I think you know is good. I learned more about being in a relationship that's 50-50 rather than one person doing everything and the other person not. Um, I just learned it's important to take care of yourself as well. Of course, I wasn't a complete master at understanding that you have to take care of yourself, but I just learned that that's like a topic. So just know whenever I mention something, it's not like I completely mastered those topics. It's just that I understood and realized that that was a part of, you know, it was a new subsection of my life that I need to now understand more. Because I gained a lot of that. It's like starting a new chapter in a book or stuff like that. But yeah, first relationship, not bad. Moving on. I think what pretty much ended up happening throughout my years of high school is that I ended up dating somebody every year, a different person, or at least yeah, starting a relationship every year. Um, and good or bad, I mean, I took them as like milestones. Again, that's just what I called it. I was like, yeah, um, this ends a chapter of my life. Time to start a new one, such and such like that. Before I move on though, I want to mention I had this weird idea in my head that I had to go with somebody to homecoming or at least the school dances. Like I had to. Like to me, it just didn't make sense why you would go alone. And I don't know why I had this thought in my head. Maybe from watching movies too much or shows or just I don't know, some sort of like connection I made that just in my head made me think you can't go alone. You have to go with somebody. And that's what I did. Every single homecoming, it was mainly homecoming. I didn't bother to go to the other dances. But every single homecoming, I brought somebody. Like I asked somebody and I went. And that was every single one. There wasn't one where I didn't go with somebody. There might have been one, not that I remember though, but I'm pretty sure there was only like 4 or 5. And let me tell you, that probably is the biggest mistake that I could have made. I mean, I don't regret what I did. I still had fun, a lot of fun at different moments, but I'm fairly certain I would have had a lot more fun without going to somebody, just because whenever I went with somebody, all I could think about was, are they having a good time? Where are they? Should I be dancing with them? Should I be with them constantly? Should I let them have their time? Like, well, how does it work? You know? Every single time I would worry, and I wouldn't have as much fun as I could have on my own. And it just sucks because, like, I most likely would have had like an amazing time with no problems. But when you're constantly thinking about what the other person is thinking about, or at least wondering what they're thinking about, so much stress. Like, not not worth. And I guess I never really went to a dance. I think I went to one on my own, but I don't remember. Um, I just remember almost like 99% of the time it was with somebody. Um, but yeah, my first dance that I went to was with my first girlfriend, and that one was fun. I wore a purple dress shirt. It's my favorite color. Um, some nice dress pants, a tie, and it was good. I danced with this person Did I actually dance with this person? Oh God. I actually think I didn't dance with this person. Oh no. And let me tell you, up to now, I haven't like held this person's hand before yet. Like it was still new to me. I think I kissed them, but I haven't held their hand yet. And I remember it was near the end of the dance. I think they hurt themselves on accident, and we were just chilling outside of the dance area, like sitting on a bench area. Again, another bench, imagine. And I'm over here thinking, I'm just gonna be here with her. I see her hand seems a bit heavy. I kind of want to hold it. Let me let me think about a way to do this. And I'm over here like thinking back and forth. Oh God, what do I do? What do I do? It's just hold her hand, bro. Just she's chilling. She just is here with you. Hold her hand. Relax. You're good. You're good. Make the move. It's not even that big of a move. She most likely wants to hold your hand. And oh my God, bro, the mental gymnastics, everything I was thinking about, it was so difficult. It was almost as bad as thinking about getting the first kiss. Wasn't as bad, but it was just, oh, it was still another move that I haven't done before. I haven't held a girl's hand before. I was like, that's new to me. um, and so um, I was finding out like we're sitting down, and I don't remember if I did the same exact thing and asked her if I could, because I didn't want to, do something she didn't like, or if I just, kind of tried to do something smooth and grab her hand. Um, I'm pretty sure I just reached out my hand, and then she grabbed it. Like I held it out, like trying to motion to it, being like, "Hey, grab my hand," and then she did. Um, and that was nice, And I was just holding her hand throughout the entire thing. We were just chilling, and I was like, "Ah, this feels good. I'm glad I decided to do that." And I'm just sitting there, you know, relaxing. And then came the near the end of the what? Near the end of the dance. Oh my God, that's embarrassing. And then, you know, we're walking up the stairs, about to leave. Um, I think I just gave her a hug. I don't remember if I kissed her or anything like that. It's, I'm not sure. But then she left, and then that was that. And I'm over here sitting, just like thinking, you know. Most people are already gone, so I'm just sitting down, like on the ground. It's really dark out. It's already night, of course, and I'm just thinking. I'm like, damn, that was good. Great job, me. That was nice. Um, great for sure. Great first experience. It's not like a super big thing, but to me it was like this is a big moment. And I'm glad I was able to do it. And so yeah, first dance, perfect. I mean, like I said, I was worried constantly about like where I should be with this person during the dance and like what I should be doing. Should we be dancing, stuff and such like that. Um, but other than that, it was fun. I liked it. But yeah, um, let's see. Sophomore year. Actually, I probably should talk about. Um, I ended up breaking up with her, and I don't know. This one, see, it was my first breakup, but and so I didn't really know how to feel. But it was really weird because didn't I didn't like cry, right? I wasn't like, oh my God, I am so distraught. It was more like a quick moment. I remember there was a lot of reasons we broke up. I'm not gonna like go into in depth, but it just wasn't my favorite relationship. And I remember it was after school. I went up to her. I'm like, hey, can we talk? This is important. And I kind of got shooed off, you know, because she was like, I guess trying to call somebody, most likely her ride. And I'm like, hey, can we please talk really quick? Like, just give me one moment. And she, just wasn't budging because she was trying to call. And in my head, since I'm trying to end things, um, I'm thinking like, why is she making this so difficult? You know, She doesn't want to give me a moment just to talk. Like I said, it was important. And so I'm just kind of like bothered. And then she puts down the phone for a second. And I'm like, hey, stuff. We're breaking up. I feel this way and we need to break up. And all she said was okay. And I'm like, oh, is that easy? Oh, all right, cool. See you later then. And that was that. And I'm like, damn, she really did not care. And I was so hurt. And I was like, is that it? I guess it's if it's that simple to break up with somebody. Like, I had a great time. It was great memories, but I guess this is the end. And so we broke up, and it was over. Later on, I was told by people that I guess she was crying a lot and that it really hurt her. And the only thing I could think was, then why didn't she show that to me? Why wasn't I aware? And I guess, I don't know, maybe we just weren't as close as I thought, or there was just a lot of things we needed to work out, or it just wasn't completely there. And, you know, there's just a lot of things I didn't understand, because obviously it's my first time like knowing these things, experiencing them. And so I didn't really do too much. I was left with some words from her later on because I was curious. I'm like, hey, what did I do wrong? Like, is there reasons why stuff ended like this? And I know I ended things, but this was just, there's reasons why I ended things. And so I was asking, like, did I do anything wrong? Like, what was the problems? And she told me, and those reasons kind of stuck with me throughout many other relationships because they really hit close to home. Because all I wanted to do was to be happy with this person, and it didn't work out. And so, hearing what was wrong, I was like, damn, I need to work. I need to be better. Like, what's wrong with me? I wasn't like a horrible person, but I guess I just wasn't the best. And so, I learned from that, and I kept going. And that was that relationship. Learned so much, gained a little bit more confidence, Now I can ask somebody out. Now I can hold a girl's hand without freaking out. And now I can, go in for the first kiss. And that was that. It was great. You know, again, I didn't cry. I didn't show a lot of emotions like I thought I would. Like I thought it was going to be the end, but apparently it was not. Now then, I think there was a relationship in the middle, but that was more of like a small, very small thing. I don't want to talk about that. All right, moving on. The next person that I remember the most. Um, that sounds weird, as if I forgot other people. I just mean like I don't really like. I mean, this is high school. I don't remember a lot of things, but next person. Um, I also want to mention just because I think it's kind of interesting. There was a couple people, like one or two people that like I went back and I guess told them again that I liked them. I guess I hadn't given up. And again, we got rejected. I don't know. I guess I was still hooked. And it's interesting getting rejected again because I'm just like, what am I thinking? Like, why did I think that would go differently this time? I guess I thought I had become like a little bit of a better person, and maybe they might find me more of a desirable, um, more desirable. I guess being like maybe they might like me now, but no, that was not the case. Um, but yeah, I mean that happened with a couple people, and yeah, it was fun. I mean, I would send one or two risky texts and be like, "Oh God, please get the response I want. Please get the response I want." And nope, that's not the case. Didn't get the response I want. But oh well. And then I kept going. The mindset I tried to keep, and that I learned more and more over time, is that no matter what happens, I shouldn't regret, you know, too much the things that I do, because in the end, it's I can't change it, you know. Obviously, it's something if it's something really bad, I have to learn from that, try to be better next time and not do that again. And so in my head, I just always thought like I shouldn't care too much about what other people think, focus on myself, keep moving forward. Those are like the main things. Just keep moving forward. If you focus too much on the past and the things that have happened already that you can't change, it's going to destroy you and you're not going to be able to improve as a person if you want to. And that's what I just kept in my mind constantly. Through whatever happened, it was just be what it would be my concluding thoughts like, hey, whatever happened today, just know you did your best. Or maybe you didn't, but next time you will. Just keep going. And that's what I kept for myself. And yeah, but yeah, so my next relationship, um, it wasn't really one I was expecting too much. It was with a person that I hadn't really talked to that much. I mean, I was in a group of friends and they just kind of like wandered in, and I'm like, hey, um, you know, I met them, and then that's that. Actually, I'm really dumb. Um, I don't know if I should share this. Um, I think I remember just being kind of lonely, I guess. I was like, having a relationship was nice. I remember I messaged a girl, um, and I didn't really know anything about them. I just knew a little bit, maybe their name, how they looked, and that was it. I remember talking to them, and I asked them out pretty quickly, honestly. And of course, to my surprise, I don't know why I was surprised, but they said no. They're like, nah, bro, I don't, you weirdo, get out of here. And that didn't work out. Immediately afterwards, there's this other girl that I had on Snapchat, and I knew they went to my school. I just didn't really know anything about them. And I'm like, hey, I'm talking to them. We start talking for this time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play it slow. All right. I learned from the first one, being really fast and asking someone out immediately doesn't work out. It just doesn't. So I realized, all right, I need to be slow, play the waiting game, take my time, and it'll work out. Hopefully, that was the plan. All right. And this was one of those experiments where I'm just like, all right, new learning experience. Let's see if this works instead. And so I started talking to her, and you know, I think we probably ended up like messaging. Like she would respond to my text like every few hours. Like it would take a long time per responses, and our conversations would span out for like days. And I was talking to a friend who knows her, and they were telling me, oh yeah, she does that with everybody. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't feel as bad now. Maybe I do have a chance. And then the response times became shorter and shorter, and I'm like, hey, is this a good sign? They're like, yes, yes, that's good. Means she might like you. And I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, like I'm doing good. She's responding to me a lot quicker than other people. Maybe that's a good sign. I don't want to, get too over my head and think that I'm the best just yet, but definitely gonna think, hey, this is good. This is a good sign. And so, she would start responding pretty quickly, and I took it as something good. And so I think weeks had passed, and I finally was like, hey, want to go out? And I'm pretty sure that it took me maybe a couple tries to understand. Not a couple tries. I didn't. How do you say this? I think after my first girlfriend, I realized that you can go on dates with somebody and not have to be like dating them as girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And that idea, like I did realize it like pretty quickly, but just wasn't fully in my head. Like I thought like if I went on dates with them, I have to go out with them. But then I learned, after a little while that that's not the case. You go on dates with them to figure out whether or not you like them, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Um, but yeah, so I asked this girl out. Um, on a date to the movies. The place that I only know works. um, and I think it was, and obviously she said yes. And I just want to explain something. To my surprise, the girl that I had originally tried out asking out almost immediately was her best friend. And I'm like, oh God, this is oh my, this is a conundrum I put myself into. They've definitely talked. They definitely know some stuff. Um, and I think I got like a little suspicion on me, and I kind of played dumb. I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so embarrassing. I ended up, being fine later and, explaining the situation, being like, all right, that's true. I did do that. I'm sorry. And then it was fine. But damn, I'm kind of dumb. I'm talking to too many people at once. Um, then so yeah, anyways, that moved on and that was fine. I went on a date with this girl and it was the movies. Again, movies not the best idea. And let me just say, um, ooh, okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened, then I'm gonna say a different story that happened before this that I forgot to explain. But yeah, so after the movies, I'm like, I want to kiss her, you know, and I'm nervous. We just got out of the movies. We're literally right outside the door of the movie theaters, and she's like, hey, can I kiss you goodnight? And I'm like, whoa. In my head, I'm like, wait a second, she making the first move? I don't have to do anything. Let's go. That's what's up. And I'm all excited, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, for sure. And we kissed, and it was like, oh, it was nice. I liked it. It was fun. And then she wanted to kiss again. I'm like, oh. Anyways, and that was a good date. Good first date. Great first date. And I was like, I was feeling good. I'm like, I think I did everything right. And after that, we started dating. And before I move on to talk more about that girl, there was one other person before her, um, who I took on another movie date. Please don't make fun of me. I know movie dates crazy, right? I took this person on one movie date, and I think it was like textbook movie date. Like it was something you'd watch from a movie. I took her, we watched the movie, came out, we're laughing. Before she went, I did this, all right? I did this. Let me tell you right now. I grabbed her hand as she was leaving. I pulled her in and went in for the kiss. And it was all accepting. She was like all for it. So it wasn't like something she didn't want. And so I was like, it's nothing bad. I'm like, okay, cool. But anyways, and oh, I was like, damn, I'm smooth. I'm a smooth dude. I'm dumb actually. I'm really dumb. But yeah, I pulled her in and that was that. And she was happy and I was happy and that was that. So that was that girl. Obviously I did date this person for like a month, but then I broke up with them. It didn't work out. Later on, back to the girl who asked me if she could kiss me. This person, uh, I remember it was my first time thinking I should probably ask her dad for like a blessing to go out with her. Be like, hey, this is me. Can I date your daughter? And this person, her dad, speaks Spanish, right? And I'm thinking, damn, I gotta learn how to say this in Spanish. What do I do? I can't make a fool of myself. I'm Spanish. I gotta know this stuff. And so I'm over here, you know, we're talking to each other like in the study halls at school right before. Um, and I remember this one person like was listening to our conversation about being nervous to like ask for a blessing, and she's like, just go for it. You got this. Like you got this. And I'm like, thank you. And I was like, why you butting into our conversation? No, I'm just kidding. She was really nice. And then we went upstairs right before the car line where they pick us up, and he's parked. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm going for it. And I go. I think she's waiting, like back. I go out. She's like a little bit behind me. And I'm not going to just because I don't want to embarrass myself right now. And because I don't remember exactly how I said it. And I tried my best Spanish accent. And I told her dad, I'm like, hey, I want to date your daughter. Give him a nice firm handshake. And I'm like, this is me. And just a little bit of laughter later. And he's like, all right, yeah, you're chill. And I'm like, that's what's up. Let's go. Um, and all was good. Chilling. Nothing bad. I think I did pretty well. No, it was horrible. It was really awkward. Don't expect anything that I say to be smooth. It was just not the best. Not till later. I think I still had a lot to learn. But yeah, that relationship lasted like 6 months. I ended up breaking up with her. And let me just tell you something right now. I'm gonna do a bit of oversharing. The relationship was my favorite. We had a lot of problems, reason why I broke up with her. But overall, it was an amazing relationship. Loved every second of it. It was the first time I actually like had a better idea of what it meant to love somebody. And it was like it was great. I was like, I love this person. This is how it is. And a lot of moments in the relationships I had to like think to myself like what is love? Like maybe don't hurt me. Not I'm thinking like do I really feel love for this person? Is this like what love is? Like I need to make sure my feelings are true before like I keep telling this person how I feel. And so there's so many different moments where I just thought about that. Now these emotions were a lot stronger than any other relationship I've ever been in. The relationship I forgot to mention, the first relationship I was in lasted 6 months. The second one was 1 month, and then this one I'm talking to right now lasted 6 months. Then I broke up with them and then got back together, and that lasted another 6 months, and then I broke up with them, and that was that. But yeah, so the first time though, I realized so much just how much I cared for this person and how much different it was from the first relationship, because I was in tears, bawling my eyes out for the longest time. It was horrible. My heart was broken. I was feeling heartbreak for the first time. Like the past ones, I didn't like them as much as I thought I did. And it was just like, you know, whatever. And I finally understood what heartbreak was. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. The funny thing was, before I, decided to call and break up with this person, I, you know, I, I don't know, this is like so embarrassing, but I was sitting down on the toilet, taking a fat dump. Let me tell you right now, fat one. And I'm like, I'm just gonna call her up really quick. From my experience with past relationships, it'll be a quick breakup. We'll be done. Oh my God, was I wrong? I'm sitting on the toilet, calling her. I'm like, hey, I think we need to break up. And oh my God, that phone call lasted a long time. I was numb. I was still on the toilet the entire time, and I was like, what am I doing? What have I done? Why? Why do I feel this way? Why is this completely different than anything else I've ever done? Like, why is this different? And then it hit me, and I'm like, oh my God, I I I, I really did care about this person. This was really actually a good relationship. This was actually someone who cares about me, who I'm hurting. And it was just, oh my God, it was a horrible, horrible experience because I was just so, like, I felt so broken. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't feel like myself. I'm on the toilet, with my hand or my face in my hands, crying, a complete mess, and just thinking like, what did I just do? And I couldn't go back on what I said just because I was hurt. Like I had to stick with what I felt originally. And so, we're just both crying. She's like begging, like, hey, please don't do this. And oh my God, every single time she said that, it was making me feel worse and worse. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. How could I do such a thing? Like to this person who cares about me so much, who was planning on giving me so many gifts for that 6 month anniversary type thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate myself so much. And after almost an hour, me completely numb because I'm been crying and because I've been on the toilet the entire time. Again, nothing has changed. I didn't think to get up because I was too distraught. And we hung up, and that was, I was like, hey, she wanted to meet in person. And I'm like, of course, let's do that one just so we can do this properly, I guess, end it properly. And so we did. And after we hung up, I immediately called my friend. I'm like, bro, why do I feel this way? What's going on? Like, my past relationships, I didn't cry. I didn't feel super bummed out. I was just like, all right, I guess that happened. But this one, I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And it was just like, oh my, like that. That was, I learned a lot, like a lot. And yeah, I mean, later on, we ended up getting back together. Some stuff happened, and I guess we felt that that was the right move. And I mean, it was for a long time. We dated for another 6 months. I ended up breaking up with her again just because I felt like it was too similar to the last relationship, and that's not what you want. You don't want to go back to the same thing that caused you to break up. And it was just like, it didn't work. And again, this time I was in a better position. It ended like way more mutually. Like it was a lot better of an ending. Like it wasn't like horrible on both sides. Like we talked more like adults. We understood the situation and we said our goodbyes. And it was very respectful, very nice. And although I was still super, super like hurt after the fact, it was still a lot better of an ending. And I don't regret anything that happened. Maybe the part of sitting on the toilet while doing it, but still, I learned a lot. And it was great. But yeah, I mean, after that relationship, there's one more very crucial one to what made me who I am right now. And that was a girl that I met online. I remember I was just bored with some friends. Like I was in a call with a friend and I went online to chat with a random person or whatever, and we were just like telling jokes, laughing around with random people, and it was fun. And I met this one girl who in the beginning I did not have like I was not thinking like, damn, I want to date this person. I want to go out with them. In the beginning it was super simple. I was just like, I want to be friends with this person. They're really cool. And we're talking and stuff, and they want to be friends with me too. Everything's chill. I ended up talking with them for like an hour or two with my friend just like listening because he's in the background in the call still with me. So like I felt bad. I was like, oh God. And so I got this person's like information and we just called afterwards for like a week or two. We would call nonstop. And they usually work, but they had a free week where they didn't have to like do their job or whatever work, they had days off. And for that entire week we talked, you know, all day, all night. And it was so much fun. And all I could think about was nothing in terms of like, oh, I want to date this person or I like this person. It was more like, I feel really happy. Like, I feel like I have a really great friend here. And, you know, as time went on, we developed feelings for each other. And it was kind of like a supernatural thing. Like, it was perfect. It was almost like exactly how you'd want it to happen, Gaining feelings for someone after being like feeling that you were really good friends with them, that sort of best friend to relationship deal. And we had a day or a couple days where we would just talk and talk and talk about every single important topic that we felt was necessary in pursuing a relationship. And we kind of just talked about everything, all the elephants in the room, everything. And it was super nice. I liked it so much. And great experience. And we took so long to tell each other we liked each other. It was so fun though. Almost like an hour or two just telling each other that we cared about one another and that hey, by the way, I kind of like you, but like in a romantic way, not just I like you as a person. And it was so awkward, but like awkward in a good way, where it's just like you could still laugh. It was fun, and you both knew what was going on, and it was great. This was my first relationship where it was outside of high school, and it was like, we're adults now, kind of. Where we have a much better, like I was at my peak after high school. This was like she was experiencing me who had learned so much from high school and have know myself a lot more, that if she knew me like anywhere before, the relationship would not have worked out. I had so much more confidence. I knew who I was a lot more, and I knew how to do things. Like I knew how to handle situations. I knew how to handle arguments if there ever was one. I knew how to handle, being calm, collected, and, you know, being okay if things don't work out. I was just my peak. I was doing really well for myself. And so this relationship couldn't have happened at any better time. And so, by the way, since I did meet this person online and we had only just been calling, they did not live in the same state as me. They lived a state over, Arizona. And let me just say, like that's pretty far. And it was my first long distance relationship. I had never done something like that before. But let me tell you, for a first, when it came to long distance, I am proud of myself because it went better than anyone probably would have guessed. That relationship, I don't want to like say too much, but it was it was how do I explain this? I achieved or acquired or had felt something much quicker. Oh, much quicker in the span of a month than I had ever felt or acquired or achieved when I was in my relationship before that, the one that lasted a year. And I think that tells you something because those types of relationships don't happen that often where someone gives you, something, feelings, emotions a lot quicker in such a short time than the other person could have. That doesn't mean the other person was horrible, bad person, not a good relationship. It just means it was different and it just worked out a lot better. We hit it off pretty quick. Like, but don't worry, I mean, we definitely knew, like, we don't want to rush into things. We were smart about that, but we were still able to hit it off really well. And 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think, pass, and we want to meet each other in person. And we were able to convince both our parents through a PowerPoint presentation that we both made, um, so that we could meet in person. And we kind of met in the middle, in between California and Arizona from where she lives, and we met in the middle in a location called Yuma. And we met in person. And originally, we had planned to do a bunch of stuff, like go to different locations. But when we got there, oh my god, it was so hot. We were dying. It was crazy. And it was just like, oh, this is not good. The heat, too much. And we found this little antique bookstore. Like they had nice antiques and books, and that's the antique bookstore. There's a nice old lady at the front desk just chilling. And it was really quiet there. It was really nice. And we walked inside and we just sat down on some old chairs and we were just talking for like an hour or two. And it was like, this is great. I know now. I'm glad that I decided to meet this person in person, and it definitely is better than I could have expected. And we were just having fun. We were talking, and that was for like 2 hours, and we were just chilling inside that antique bookstore. And then yeah, then we hugged and said goodbye, and she left. Her parents were really nice. She met mine. I know. It was like our first date. We met each other's parents and whatever. But they were both really nice. They took a photo of us, and that was that. And then, she went home, and I went home, and we started talking again, phone almost every night. I would stay up until like 6 a.m. Crazy. Barely got any sleep, but I still felt happy. I was good. Um, I didn't have a job at this time, and I remember she said, if you want to come over, you have to get a job before. It's because I'm spending money, and I need to have money to be able to go over. And that was a great amount of motivation that I needed to finally get a job, because not even a week later after she told me that, I got a job at McDonald's. It's such an easy job to get. And so I like started going over. And the way that we planned it out, pretty much um, twice a month we would fly over to each other. I would fly over to her one part of the month, and then later on she'd fly over to me, and she'd stay for like 3 days, and I would stay for like 3 days, and we just go back and forth, and that lasted for like a year, a little bit less. Actually, I don't know. It was less than a year, more than 6 months, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, we would hang out a lot. It was my favorite times. Such good memories, and I still sometimes think about it today. Makes me sad that it ended. I ended up breaking up with her. It was definitely the worst heartache I had ever felt, because I 100% love this person so much. In the end, it just didn't work out, which sucks. Bums me out to this day sometimes, but I still, I don't let it take me down too far, because I know this decision that I made and I cannot regret it. I don't regret it. I realize now, you know, if that relationship went on further, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be as close to my friends. I wouldn't know myself as much as I do. I wouldn't be working so hard with this job that I have, that I love so much. And I wouldn't be just happy. Oh God, I'm getting emotional. So yeah, I mean, as much as I can tell my friends, hey, bro, I just like had a dream where I was talking to my ex and it was great, which I have had. I can't go back to that. It was great. It was my favorite, but I can't go back, because that was that. That chapter of my life was closed, and I gotta move forward. I do have moments where I'm kind of lonely and sad and stuff like that, but I can't let that hold me down, because, you know, I am still happy. I got this whiteboard in front of me on my wall that I put with a bunch of names of a bunch of people that I'm getting Christmas gifts for, because it's people that I see as friends, see as close friends, see as people that I care about, and want to get them something. And the reason I've been working so hard, full time, 2 jobs, is because I want to have money to be able to make people happy. They make me happy. I mean, why not return the favor? Like I said before, it's my goal in life. It's what I want to do. If I can make people happy, then I'm happy, and I'm satisfied in life. But yeah, so that relationship, you know, it was definitely something. I definitely understood what love was, and so I know now for future. I know what I want. I know that I'm super picky, and that if I am this picky, it's gonna take me forever. But hey, I'm not gonna settle for less. No one should settle for less. No one should just settle and be like, I'm okay with this just because I'm afraid to be lonely, or just because I'm afraid to make that move. I strongly believe that, if you want something, you have to not be afraid to go and, go for that. Something's not working out, well, it's not working out, You can't force something. And that was hard for me to come to terms with. Can't really, nothing's perfect. But also don't think that just because something isn't perfect in a relationship that you have to continuously, look for something better. I mean, everybody has their unique things that they bring to the table, and there will always be something better. I'm sure you've heard the term, there's always someone better, always something better. If you keep thinking like that, you'll just never be happy. I have to find a good balance. I'm very picky, but I also want to be happy. But I don't want to settle for less. But I don't know, it's complicated. Anyways, though, I mean, there was one more thing, but besides that, like, I talked to people after that. you know, learned a few more things. I'll probably share more in another episode, but for now, I am who I am because I was able to learn from other people, learn from my relationships, and just try my best to become a better person every single day. Keep moving forward no matter what kind of depression hits me or, obstacle in my path. I just got to keep going because no one is going to wait for you, you know? No one's going to wait for me. Like, they got their own life to figure out. Who's going to wait for me? I got to keep going. It's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I feel good right now. Almost got a little too emotional. It was weird. But I feel good. Hope you enjoyed listening. Hope everything was good. Hopefully I didn't say anything weird. I had to cut. What's it called? I had to make a cut. You might hear like the music kind of change a little bit just because I had to stop the recording and start again. That's because I accidentally said a name. I said somebody's name just because I was too much in the moment. You won't notice it. But I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I have a bunch of stories, a bunch of stuff to talk about. I ramble. So if you ask a question, I'll do my best to think of an experience I had or try to come up with something. Just let me know. I don't mind. I just want this to be like a comfy thing where I just talk, whether about myself or anyone else. I don't know. I have fun with these. And if people enjoy them, let me know if you enjoy them because I love making them. Um, but yeah, if I could reach people through this, that'd be nice. Whatever I can do. Definitely gives me something to do in my free time, especially if after 2 weeks I'm not going to have that other job and I'll have a lot more time. Pretty much only be working Kane's late shifts, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then I'll sleep, wake up, record another video. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you for listening. If you made it all the way through, I appreciate it. Um, but yeah. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.